The Paradox of Life, Death and Rebirth. Duration, 10 minutes. To a scientist, the Hindu philosophy of life, death and eternity may appear devoid of sense and reason, yet it cannot be denied that this philosophy possesses a unique charm, captivating those who seek more than the answers provided by the material world. In an age dominated by science and technology, many are enchanted by an ancient belief that promises something beyond the grasp of reason: reincarnation. The allure, a hope that one might return to this earthly realm once again. Man, the strangest of all living paradoxes, spends his life lamenting the burdens of existence, longing for death to sever the ties to his misery. Yet paradoxically, he yearns to return to this same familiar world. Why? The imprisonment of life and the bondage of sorrow, are they not one and the same? Can deliverance from sorrow even be possible without death? And yet the human soul longs to live again, to continue the journey, even at the risk of suffering anew. This is the charm that keeps many entranced by the philosophy of reincarnation, an endless cycle, a constant return to the world of birth, suffering and rebirth. And yet, while the hope of rebirth persists, there is a critical point often overlooked. Human society has, in many ways, deteriorated in its moral and religious conduct. To think that humanity, so rife with corruption, injustice and cruelty, deserves to be reborn into its own image once more. Is that truly a hope worth holding on to? If the Vedic philosophy of karma holds any truth, most of humanity today may be destined for a far humbler future. Rebirth could be as a monkey, a wild boar, a crocodile, or even a worm. To live again is a hope, yes, but at what cost? Could the price of this perpetual cycle be too high? To understand the philosophical roots of reincarnation, one must first contemplate the very foundations of Hinduism. The four rishis, the ancient sages who received the Vedas, are said to have appeared in a time long before life as we know it began on Earth. If the Vedas are to be taken literally, the rishis must have existed long before oxygen began to fill our atmosphere. In a world populated only by viruses and bacteria, who were these holy men? What sustenance did they rely upon? Perhaps human life began not with holy men, but with holy viruses and pious bacteria. Or maybe the story is more complex. Maybe the origins of life and the Vedic teachings began much later than we think, around the time the Indian subcontinent formed and merged with the rest of Asia. The Himalayas, the Tibetan plateau, and the Indian subcontinent, these were not mere backdrops for the rishis to meditate upon. They were themselves products of geological evolution, appearing after the dawn of life on Earth. Yet if the rishis existed long before the Earth was habitable for humans, could they have arrived from another world? If we are to take the Vedas at face value, then perhaps the rishis did not originate from Earth at all. Could they have come from some alien realm, bringing with them knowledge beyond the comprehension of early human life? The doctrines of karma and reincarnation may have once been profound, birthed from a time of deep contemplation. But in a modern world, riddled with uncertainty and moral decay, these ancient beliefs seem more like the products of a decadent age, an age where theologians sought to answer the riddles of life, death, and the eternal on their own without divine guidance. Though the Vedas contain elements of divine revelation, they are also products of human hands, interpolated, altered, and shaped by time and human intervention. What remains is a mix of truth and fallibility, a message lost in the complexity of history. But there is another aspect of Hindu philosophy that remains powerful: the practice of yoga. Yoga, in its most profound sense, is not just a physical exercise, but a journey into the deepest realms of the human mind and body. Through deep contemplation and meditative practice, yogis claim to reach the fountainhead of truth within themselves. But is this path a true means of enlightenment or merely a form of self-deception? Yet there are feats achieved by yogis that cannot be easily dismissed. Some have been known to hold their breath for long periods, even living for days submerged underwater. Others claim to dematerialize and reappear in another place. Is this mere exaggeration, or do these practices tap into hidden, untapped potential? Yoga, in its purest form, is not just an exercise. It is an instrument of learning, a tool for self-mastery. But whether it leads to the discovery of ultimate truth or merely to personal transformation is still an open question. What we do know is this: the ancient questions of life, death, and rebirth continue to mystify us. In the end, perhaps the most profound lesson lies not in the answers we seek, but in the journey itself. This is the paradox of existence, the search for meaning, the hope for reincarnation, and the endless quest for enlightenment. And perhaps, in the end, it is the quest itself that defines us.